Hi there, welcome to my third video in my summer silhouette series. Today we're going to make a scrapbook layout, so let's get right into it. I'm starting out with Crumb Cake ink, which is a craft ink from Stampin' Up, and I'm using the background image from this stamp set. If you want to see the entire set I'm using, the summer silhouette from Stampin' Up, please go back and see my first video in this series. I'm using Crumb Cake on the Crumb Cake paper to get a tone-on-tone look. I'm using this white paper as a guide just to show me where to stamp. And now I'm using the leaf image from the same set with the same Crumb Cake ink right on top of what I just stamped. I lightly sponged this white cardstock with the Crumb Cake ink as well. And I'm just going to layer that right on top and let the stamping show on the upper left and bottom right corners. Now I'm using this designer paper also from Stampin' Up, and this is the Comfort Cafe designer series paper that I'm also trying to use in this series. And I just cut it slightly smaller than that white cardstock, and I also sponged the edges with the Crumb Cake ink as well. These are the photos I'm using for my layout. These are some Instagram photos. They're 3x3. And then I had pre-written out my journaling on some white cardstock, and I just rounded the four corners of that journaling card. So now I'm just using that journaling card just to help me figure out the spacing to where to put these photos. And I'm just eyeballing it to get them evenly spaced horizontally. You could measure if you'd like it to be a little more exact. So here are my journaling cards that went with each photo. So I'm just lining them up again just roughly and laying them out. And I just hand wrote my journaling. So here's the final piece. Very simple layout. Now I'm taking my mist and I'm unscrewing the cap and I'm just tapping it here to get some splatter marks, and it's in the blue color. This is the Mr. Huey's from Studio Calico. And then now I'm moving on to my title. These are some old basic gray stickers I've had in my stash for a while. They were a dark blue, but they were just a little too dark, so what I did was I just lightly sponged them with my white ink to soften the color so that it matched a little bit more with my layout. And I'm lightly putting them down to get the spacing, and then I had it too far to the right, so I had to move them over to the left a little bit. Now I'm using some Lawn Fawn stamps to get my date here. And I'm using the Not Quite Navy ink from Stampin' Up. And now I'm adding my embellishments. This is some chipboard buttons from, I can't remember the brand name. And then these are smaller buttons from Stampin' Up. Those chipboard buttons are from Jenny Bolin, sorry. I'm just adding them near the cluster of where I stamped. And then there I'm just trying to figure out which brad I wanted to use. This is my little foam cushion and a push pin I'm going to use to poke my hole so that I could insert in my brad. And this is an antique brad from Stampin' Up. I added some buttons there just using mini glue dots. And now I'm adding some washi tape just to add some balance to the page. I'm just tearing it off, and then I'm just folding it over so that I don't get the full width of the tape. And then I just trimmed off the excess off of the page. And then I'm going to do that same thing on the bottom of the layout. And I'm not going all the way across, just again to break up the horizontal lines a little bit. Again, just folding it over and then just snipping off the edge. And that finishes this layout. I actually added just some tiny mini pearls, as you can see here in this close-up. And here's another close-up of my other stamped corner. and here's the whole layout. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this series. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.